Hello, good morning. Welcome to the first Sunday of September. Uh, we'll be looking at the disciple and stress management for this period, and it's important that we get some general understanding about stress. But first of all, know that without some level of stress, we cannot actually survive as humans. However, one of the challenges of life that sometimes makes life miserable is stress. Stress leads to many health problems. When people know how to manage and cope with stress of life, they are able to cope with the situation they find themselves in and are less likely to slip into loneliness, depression. Everyone deals with stress at some point, and Christians are not immune to this pressure and stress. So some Christians believe that God is powerful and in control of every circumstance of life and that He has given us everything we need for living. So when they experience challenges, they believe it is the will of God. Regardless of whatever our belief is, stress will wear us down physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So we need to know how to deal with stress. We must realize that humankind is feeble and has limits. Therefore, we can cast our burden on the Lord, for He cares for us. The scripture says, cast your cares upon the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. So this month, like I said, we'll be looking at stress, and it's important that we get a better understanding of stress. So if we want to look at stress as it is, there are some things we need to understand. We need to because of this talk, we'll be explaining what stress means, mentioning the symptoms of stress, and identifying ways to recognize stress. And I want us to pay some attention as we look at this. As I begin to talk, you'll be able to just ponder within your mind and understand the statement, health is wealth. So the concept of stress was first used by Hans Sale to identify a specific syndrome of physical symptoms resulting from prolonged activation of the body's coping mechanism. Definitely, you know that whatever reaction that comes, your body has a way of trying to cope with those situations. And when it comes in various forms, there are some mechanism. I will not need to want to bother you so much with some medical things, but it's just a system that activates something in your system that will actually give you how you will react. And we must know that stress is the general physical and emotional strain caused by a difficult situation. Yes, some people could just say, oh, your life is stress free, is this, is that. That does not actually mean. But stress can come from internal perception of an individual's experience of anxiety. Yes, something happens and the way you react is normal. Maybe there is a gunshot at the moment, and how you react to it. Some people will want to say, oh, what kind of gun is that? Is it from robbers? Is it from police? Is it from this? Why some others are already reasoning some other difficult things. So whatever you perceive will definitely determine the level, or rather how this stress would come. Yes, what can manifest into stress could be physical, it could be spiritual, but most importantly, especially as the day is going on, financial stress is there. Marital issues could come, and of course, psychological, just the way you think they can actually could become stressors to you. So this stress can be external, relating to one's environment, struggling for survival in a country where nothing seems to be working. You know what that one actually translates to as it is. People are struggling to survive, and nothing seems to be working. In a few cases, stress may be, yes, of course, beneficial, because without stress, you may not be able to survive anything. So now, to actually talk about understanding stress, what is stress? The word stress is a constraining force or influence, such as a force exerted when one's body or body part passes on, pulls on, pushes against, or tends to compress towards, twist another body or body part. So it is a combination of forces that produces strain in the body organs, like the brain, the nerves, the heart, the stomach, the pancreas, the intestine, the reproductive system, and the joints. When this happens, it portends danger to one's life. So generally, stress refers to excessive or negative mental or emotional strain or tension, though the Bible does not specifically mention stress, but it speaks of stress such as anxiety, worry, trouble things, often associated with stress, and prescribe how to deal with them. Everyone suffers from stress or the one time or the other. For some, emotional stress, yes, okay. For some, emotional stress and how we actually deal with them actually depends largely on who you are. Like I mentioned, emotional stress causes physical illness. Others might become hyper productive, while some people shut down mentally, because when they are faced with emotional stress, you just see them, either they are down, they are not interested in anything that people would see. So stress is a common human experience, particularly in a world where the demand for our time and attention seems to be unending. Our jobs, health, family, friends, and relationship, and even ministry ministry activities. Oh, meeting today, meeting tomorrow, and so many other things could actually portend stress for us. So the way we react to them, the way we act to them, play a major role. And we must also know that the way you react to stress is different from the way I will react to stress, different from the way the next person will react to stress. It's not a one size fit all thing. So it's just the reaction of your body to the things that are around. And like I have said in a couple of times, anything can be stress, positive or negative. They can bring stress upon somebody. If you get a promotion today in your job place, automatically you're going to be having a new job assignment attached to you. How you react to it would also be stressful. So anything can actually bring stress. You have money that people are looking for. Or somebody gives you a 1 billion naira today. Yes, to others, you've had so much money, but it's going to give you stress. What's the stress? How are you going to manage the money? So you need to think out something. So your brain will be tasked in terms of getting that. So anything can actually be stress. And if we want to look at the difference between stress and anxiety, stress and anxiety are two terms that can be mistaken for each other, but they are actually two different things. A great deal of stress can trigger anxiety. The experience of anxiety can make it difficult to cope with stress, which may trigger health issues like depression, susceptibility to illness, digestive problem. In most cases, stress may be caused by some external events, while anxiety is caused by one's reaction to stress. So, both stress and anxiety are major contributors to life threatening issues, which may affect the wellness of an individual. While stress may go away once the threat to the situation is resolved, anxiety may persist after the original stressor might have gone. Well, if you look at the two of them, they kind of work together. If you are stressed, you are not sure of what is going to happen next. Automatically, anxiety will set in, and of course, anxiety does not actually help so much when you are so anxious. Like the Bible will say, don't be anxious for anything. With prayers and supplication, let your needs be known uh, to the Lord. Many a times, the state of anxiety is because we have so many uncertainty. We are not sure of the situation. We are not sure of what is going to happen. And so that one kind of make us to be anxious. We are thinking. We are bothered. Like if we were to describe, maybe some of us may be wondering, what is how do we know if we are anxious? Yes, if you are so bothered, that thing you are bothering about could be your anxiety. So stress, yes, is a part of life. Is somehow things it comes, but when it becomes sustained over a period of time, it is not good. If there are things that could give you stress, that could task your brain, task every of your organ, the earlier you address it, you do without it, the better it will be for you. Remember, I mentioned that when it comes up, it could affect every part of your body, and the way it affects your part of your body would actually also determine your reaction to it. Like if some persons are emotionally down, they may not eat, they may not in fact, they are not interested in anything. And like we said, when you are stressed, the stress will create anxiety, and sustained anxiety on the long run could trigger depression. It could activate your blood pressure. It could affect your heart. And like I said, everything comes around the brain. You know, it comes around the brain. Sometimes you are faced with a kind of stressful situation. The next thing you want to do is probably want to use the toilet, because automatically you are pressed. It will affect your gastrointestinal system. You know, the system, the intestine just starts moving very fast, and the next thing you want to do is you are looking for a place to use the toilet. Sometimes some of those stressful situation laced with anxiety, you could just see some persons, they are weighing on their body because they can't even control that. For some persons, they may not even be able to sleep. They cannot sleep. Some cannot even do what they do in the other room. So you could actually see that a whole lot of things are coming. And like we try to mention, what are the things in our environment that can trigger that? A very common one is money. The needs are there. The needs are there. The concerns are there. You can't just solve them. What do you do? There are deadlines for you to there are deadlines for you to meet. You cannot meet those things. It actually takes a special grace and a special state of mind for somebody to be worried and not bothered about what he or she is worried about. So, situation of the country struggling for survival, you know, uncertainty everywhere. You wake up in the morning, you are not sure of the next thing that you're going to be meeting up with, and tell me is not going to create some form of tension. It will. But one thing is that the reason why it's not a one size fit all is some of us may have seen some worse situation and we have an idea of how it will eventually play out. But some of us, we've not seen that. And when that blow hit us once, we may not recover from it immediately. So, like we said, everyone suffers from one stress at one time or the other. How we deal with it depends largely on who we are. For some, emotional stress causes physical illness. Others might become hyper productive, while some people shut down mentally and emotionally. And of course, there are a variety of other responses. Stress is a common human experience, particularly in a world where the demands for our time and our attention seems to be unending. Our job, health, family, friends, relationship, and even the ministry activities can become overwhelming. We are not, in fact, those are things that you can't run away. You can't even run away from yourself. You can't even run away from the things that you are thinking. You are leaving the office, maybe there are so many challenges in the office, demands for you to meet up with, and you get home. The family needs your attention, they need some resources from you. You can't with that whatever thing that is coming up in the office. Yes, they may try to understand with you, but does that mean they would not get it? No, they will still ask from you to say, please, we need so and so thing, we need so and so thing. So it's everywhere. But how we react, it shouldn't create anxiety, because when the anxiety comes, you start panicking, you start thinking so many things, you start running here and there, your thoughts are raising. Sometimes you are scared, just like you need to provide meal for the family and you don't have the resources. You may choose not to want to go home. You just want to say, ah, let me just stay in so and so place. Let me just hang out somewhere. Let me just wait maybe till the whole place. Or you are indebted to somebody. What will you do? How will you even feel you are coming to church this morning and the person you are indebted to is in church? The person is going to ask you for that money and you don't have the money. You may either want to say, okay, well, let me stay at home. In your staying at home where you're supposed to be in church, your mind will not be settled. So it's a whole lot of challenging situation in our environment. But like we always say, cast your cares upon the Lord. Speak out, talk to people, share your thoughts with, not everybody, but with people you trust, who you feel they can respond to you. Sometimes even without even asking for maybe solution or support, just interfacing with somebody could actually bring down your stress. Sometimes the company you keep also matters. The places you go to, how you handle things also matter. And as the week progresses, we'll be definitely be looking at types and causes of stress. It will also guide us to help us, because so that we'll definitely be able to understand what are some of all those things that kind of causes stress, and it will help. Effect of stress would also come up, and then we'll also get to know and how we can manage stress. Though I've tried to mention some of them, but there will be a specific time that we'll look at that part, counseling on stressful living, we can also look at that. So I think I will be stopping here for now, and I will be glad if we have some questions. Just note them down by next week when, by the grace of God, when we see physically, we will be able to address some of those questions. But just know that for now, stress is a part of life. Stress, uh, stressful situation comes. Why, when some persons are faced with stress, they just shut down. Some others, when they are faced with stress, they just want to quickly get done with what they're supposed to do so that that stressful situation can get out of them. If you have deadlines that you're supposed to meet, put them all together and see to how you can actually work on them so that if the demands of where we need you to deliver on those deadlines are not you are not able to the demands of meeting with those deadlines, if they come, there will not be so much disturbance on your person, so that's just it's just like somebody asking you. The person wants to help you, but there are some things that you need to do, and if you're unable to do them, it's going to be stressful to you because whatever thing that you want to do may take you out of a particular situation, and now you cannot meet up with it. It will not be the best for you. So let us see to how we can actually manage our stress. Like I said, stress is part of life. Yes, there are some job, there are some assignment that could be stressful, but if you're able to see yourself through it, you're able to pass through it, you discover that at the end of the day, you have more things to work out for. Like academics, for example, reading your book could be stressful. Sitting down in one place trying to study, preparing for exams, and so many other things could be stressful. Yes, but if we don't allow anxiety to set in, unnecessary fear to set in, at the end, you know the benefit that would come. Waking up early in the morning to go to work will be stressful, but when you start getting your salary and the incomes that are coming with it, yes, you definitely forget about the stress that you pass through in getting that. Are you a farmer? You are going to the farm, waking up under the rain, under the sun. It could be a stressful condition for you to meet. But when you are looking at the end product, that this is what you are going to get from it, yes, it could also be stressful. So let's also try to focus on the positive part of life. It will go a long way to help our stressful situation. And like I said, anything can be stress. So stay put. God bless you. Next week we'll continue, but by this time it's going to be physical. I'm sorry for I was trapped somewhere, so that's why I couldn't make it physical. But I just want to see how we can make it up to see that we still have what we are supposed to have. Yes, we cannot be free from stress, but we can limit and manage the stress we have. So stay put. God bless you. Till next week.